when you saw some of his pictures because they're mostly cell phone pictures, and I tried to make them look presentable. Most of them are from me. There's a couple I did leverage from the internet because mine was just not very good. And I especially want to thank, because you'll see a few different places around the world, some of the art and architecture, Shirley Bass for wanting to go to the Prado. And that was the impetus for our trip to Spain for 10 days in April. And so thank you, Shirley. And I want to thank Giovanna and the dear Adrian for inviting me to Peru, where I got to go to Cusco for a week. And put it on your bucket list if you haven't been. Okay, so I'm going to get started. So again, this is Faith Experienced in Art and Architecture. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about what faith means. Because we jump in here and you're like, okay, where's the first picture? Like, where's the first piece of art, whatever we're looking at. So I've always loved this. I think it's very simple. I'm sure most of you have heard this one, but you've never heard this. So I have a little plaque in my office a friend gave me that is on my desk of that quotation. And so I just thought we'll start with that. And it's art. It's a sculpture. Bob's not worried. In case anybody else was worried, Bob's not. Okay. And I am going to read this. I'm going to step over here for a second because this summarized why I picked this topic. I found it. I did not write this. This was the Google. But I thought it was a good job of for me, when I see something, and you can call it art or architecture, and my faith and what it means to me. Faith experience in art is the way spiritual life and creative expression intersect, where making, seeing, and engaging with art becomes a form of worship, reflection, and connection to the divine. So as we look through some of these, they may speak to you, they may not speak to you, things that I've chosen, but they've all spoken to me. And I thought this was interesting. The artist becomes a vessel of God's presence in the world. Whether that person, whatever faith or non-faith, whatever it is, it doesn't matter to me. What they have created, I can experience faith in it because they are a child of God. Just very quickly, I will go over, so I think everybody recognizes this one, Leonardo da Vinci, right? The Last Supper. What about the one up in the corner?
Salvador Dali.
It's the National Gallery of Art.
You got it. That's Salvador Dali, 1955. That's his version of The Last Supper. Okay. So, when you think about art, and what I'm probably about to get, one more thing. So this is another definition of faith. Most of us know Hebrews 11. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Most of us have heard that. In Christianity, our faith is active. I think we know that as well. It's not just about intellectual belief, where there are a lot of people who do. It's all about the intellectual belief, but for us, especially Baptists, it's getting your faith dirty, right? It's James, right? Like, you need to be out there. It's not just you and God. It's you and the community. Okay, I'm going to move on. So let me ask y'all a question. This cross down here, do you see that as a work of art? That cross right there? Have you ever looked at a cross and thought that's a work of art?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about this cross? Do you think that's a work of art?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, somebody gave my mother this in her senior living place. It was handmade in Poland, and she gave it to me. So it hangs in my kitchen. I think this is a work of art. Do you think this is a work of art?
Yes.
Giovanna knows where I got this. Adrian, we were in a store in Cusco. I just bought this, obviously. I see this as a work of art. So we're going to focus on crosses for a minute. As I was going through pictures and thinking about this, I didn't realize how often when I'm on travel, I take pictures of crosses. And so obviously they speak to me. Okay, we'll focus on art first. So some of you may recognize this is Richard Daka in Zambia, Chande. This was 2 years ago when Brian and I went on a trip to Kitwe, Zambia. And this is in the church, obviously. The only thing in the church that you would consider art is that cross.
You're saying that was the only decoration on the wall?
That I can recall. Brian's not here to confirm that, but as I was looking and thinking and going through pictures, I stumbled on that. As Baptists, we typically keep our crosses pretty simple. Typically, not always, but there, that is a work of art, and in my mind, that's a work of art. It speaks to me. I just took a picture of this one a couple days ago. This is a cross made of olive wood from Israel. Somebody, again, from my mother, where she lived her last few years, had some of these and gave my mom a few. And so I travel with one in my backpack.
How big is that? Oh, in your
It's about that big. But I feel it. And to me, somebody carved that. They were an artist. That's a piece of art in my mind. Again, everybody can have their own opinions.
It's more stylized than, the one on the left. This one's more stylized.
Less traditional.
And it's very smooth to the touch. I mean, it's when I grab something in my backpack in the pocket and then I grab it, it just, like I'm carrying around a piece of art and I don't really think about it that way, but I should, because to me that's what it is, because an artist created that. Okay, I brought a couple pictures, and I know you may not be able to see these. I'm going to show some more, but this is in a wall of one of my spare rooms. But this is Scotland, some Celtic crosses. It was up near Balmoral. That's all I remember. I went for a walk. I don't remember where it was. I went for a walk, and I saw these, and I took pictures of them. This was a long time ago. I cannot remember what this was, because it was about 20-something years ago when I went. But I've always, that was one of the first times, I'd been to Ireland before, that I had really seen Celtic crosses like that. And I fell in love with them. I should have worn my Celtic cross I got in Ireland today, and I didn't think about it. But there's something about Celtic crosses that for me are a piece of art. So here's one from, what's this, 4 years ago, 2021. I went to Ireland in December. And this was outside of St. Canice Church in Kilkenny, if you've ever been there. But I have a picture of the cathedral itself. But this is, I probably have a million of these. I only picked a couple because there's something about that. Again, to me, that is a piece of art. Somebody sculpted that. I know it may be hard to see because of the reflection, but that's a simple gold cross that's in Christ Church Cathedral in Dublin. Now, it's also, Advent in the Christmas season, so, but again, there's something I didn't realize until I was going through my pictures that I have with art and crosses. Okay, so this one, I don't know if Shirley remembers this one.
Crucifix.
It is. Anybody want to guess where this might be?
Oh, it's a Catholic church.
Well, yes and no. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But for this particular reason, yes. So this is Cordoba, Spain. I'm going to talk about this again in a few minutes when I talk about architecture. But to me, that is just, and I grew up Baptist. You know, we had the simple cross. I never really understood the crucifix. It was just never explained to me. I didn't understand it. Why? Like, to me, it was like, oh, but you know, I don't want to see God on the cross. I don't want to see Jesus on the cross. Like, that's, you know, I don't want to think about that. But yet, as I've gotten older and I see more crucifixes like this, and to me, it's just, it's beautiful. And to say beautiful maybe for some people, like, but I don't know. I'm trying to put it in words what it really means to me, but go ahead.
I was just going to say, whether it's religious art or any other form of art, I think one point, at least for me, on art is to produce an emotion through that medium. You know, whatever, whether it's architecture, whether it's an oil painting, whether it's watercolor or whatever, is to produce an emotion, a feeling, a movement within. And all of these things, I think, can do that in us as receivers of that art. Someone looking at it and studying it and appreciating is the emotion that comes from the art.
Somebody else have anything they want to add?
I remember when in my church, Baptist, Good Southern Baptist, one of the men, he said, no, you don't want to have Jesus on the cross. You have to remember he rose from the cross. He died, yes, but then he rose again, and that's why we have it empty.
One approach tends to provide the focus on the crucifixion itself and the sacrifice Christ made on our behalf. The other one focusing, the empty cross, focusing on the fact that he's been resurrected. I never understood why either denomination felt the need to choose one versus the other versus both.
Right.
Because I think they both have meaning.
They absolutely do. And especially the more I've traveled and been to churches around the world, no, I don't say around the world, mostly Europe and now, thankfully, in Peru. And I've been to a lot of the Catholic churches, right? And you're going to see this. And I just sit, and it really resonates with me because, yes, we all know he rose, you know, Jesus rose from the dead, but he also suffered for us. So I've become to appreciate the crucifix in addition to the cross through what I consider art. And this particular, this was in Cordoba as well. This was in the same, I'm going to call it a cathedral for the moment until I get to architecture. I don't know what this was. I just saw it and I took a picture of it. Like I just saw it in the glass case. So it looks like it's potentially marble, but I can't tell. But and it might be hard for you guys to see, but you can see the rib cage. Like I thought it was beautiful. Again, never was a big crucifix kind of girl growing up until I started seeing them more and more in my travels and just find them beautiful.
I'll say something for Ann here, because one thing that whenever we've gone through all these churches, she's always been fascinated at how different even the crucifixes are displayed, like how are the legs displayed? Are they crossed? Is there one stake going through both legs? Is there one in each? And this is what the artists have depicted, but there are different ways, all of which have a way of getting at the gruesome nature of the event.
I'm going to start looking for that now.
I mean, when you start homing in on that, they are very different, or can be.
They can.
Can be.
I mean, even in some
Isn't
of
that
these.
one on the left, one on top of the other?
Right.
Correct.
See, the feet are crossed on that one. They are not on this one.
Never thought of
And
Yeah. I've always thought about them crossed, but I mean, that doesn't
No,
mean
there are a lot
anything,
of-
but that's what I've always thought.
a lot of details that can be different.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we have a few different crosses. Do you recognize that?
Oh, yes, I do. We saw that one in
This,
Cusco.
actually, well, yes, it was Cusco region. This one was actually in Machu Picchu.
Yeah, I was getting.
Yeah. Yeah, in the town around Machu Picchu.
Is it stone
Sticks you out there.
or iron?
I believe it's wood.
Really?
I believe it was wood. And I'm looking at
Yes,
Giovanna,
yes.
we didn't get super close. I'm getting a glare when I stand over here, so. Oh, no, I think it is stone. But one of the things I found fascinating in Peru, and maybe I should just say Cusco, but I'll defer to Giovanna, was obviously the colors, right? I think if you know anything about Peru, they're all about bright colors. And the way that they would decorate, I don't know if that's the right word, some of the crosses. I've never
Adorn.
seen it before. Adorn, thank you. Adorn, I like that word much better. Adorn their crosses. I just thought were beautiful. Like, I've never seen that before. And again, people just come, anybody just walk by and kind of look at it, but I'm like, oh, look at that. I gotta get a picture of that. Here's another one. That was also, I'm pretty sure that was Machu Picchu as well, but
That looks like a priest's robe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
They converted them into a person.
yeah, I haven't looked at it that way. I just thought it was really pretty and very different than anything I had ever seen before. And so this is what you get when you just go to Peru and you kind of walk around. You see these things. It's kind of neat. Highly recommend it.
Is that a face or a head underneath the letters?
It looks like that.
Yeah.
It's Jesus with the crown of thorns.
It is, okay.
Because you see the hand.
Faced
feet.
to the left.
Correct. Sorry, I don't mean to get in front of you guys, but it's hard for me to see.
Oh, with laser eyes.
Okay.
Or, excuse me.
Yeah.
Michelle, on the hands, do the hands have the nails?
Hold on. No,
They do not.
doesn't look like it to me. I don't see any like holes or anything like that on the hands.
And on the feet at the bottom as well? Or no?
They're crossed, but I don't see
You
any
don't see it.
evidence
Okay.
of where a stake or nail would have been,
Okay.
which is interesting as well,
Yeah.
that you pick up on that. But again, this is just out. Like, this was outside of a church. We just were walking down and saw this. So there's art everywhere. I think one of the things I've learned is just you have to look, you have to pay attention. Yes,
The decorations on both of these crosses fabric.
Yeah.
pretty sure they were. Yes, they are. Now, it's also the dry season in Cusco currently, so whether or not they keep this up, that adorned in that manner when it's the rainy season, I couldn't tell you, but we were there in the dry season. It did in Machu Picchu. Remember, it did rain a little bit.
I mean,
But not a lot.
usually it really depends on the church, but like some of them, so that they want to keep that going on, they put like a little roof above, like that one, for instance. You can see that there's a roof over there.
Oh, I see. Up
Yeah.
here.
But it all depends because like that's how the community of the church organizes themselves. Because those fabrics that you're pointing out, like those are made by the community that belongs to that church, and they take turns to, like, oh, this is gonna be so and so month, or and so they have lots of those actually, and they keep on changing them through time.
See, that's why Giovanna's here. I didn't know any of this. This is what I got when I was in Peru. I had to have a translator. I'm not embarrassed to say I have the grace to say I don't know much Spanish, and to have her insight. Okay, now, does anybody recognize that?
To connect to that
Is
story.
that ours?
So Shirley Bass's floral decoration.
Sort of. Yes, Brian?
I was just saying that many of the stoles that Rob and Meg and I wear
Oh.
have those kinds of stories too. I wear a stole that was made by Diane Bullock sometimes.
You'll have to point that out next time so that we know.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have and I wasn't here.
This is one of our flowered crosses.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Oh, when we used to do the flowering of the cross out on the lawn.
That's nice.
But to me, we created. Sorry, Shirley, I'm not going to. But this one in particular, we created this piece of art. We as a community, for the rest of the community to see. Okay, now we're going to get to a few pictures. Now this is me taking pictures of pictures, okay? Most of these, not all of them. There's a few I think I went and stole from the internet. Okay, and this one I'm going to need my phone because I need to look at the notes on this one. So bear with me a second.
Is your microphone on?
Is it on?
It's on for the live stream. It's not
Oh,
for.
just for that?
Oh, do I need to speak up?
Oh,
Yes,
Yes. Well, I've never had anybody say that to me. My mother's up there like, really? Okay. I just have to remember a few things. Okay, this is I'm going to maybe butcher the pronunciation, triptych of the Rosary. By Hans Seuss, like Dr. Seuss, von Kulmbach, from 1522. And basically it's emphasizing the importance of reciting the rosary. And inside the rosary motif, of course, is a crucified Christ. So I thought that was interesting.
Where is that?
This one was Madrid,
Oh, in Madrid.
the Thyssen-Bornemisza, which is very near the Prado. And Shirley and I obviously went there.
Who are the other people
I don't remember
inside
seeing
there?
that though.
Okay, so I'm going to read. Inside the rosary motif is the crucified Christ, flanked by the Virgin and Child, angels, and the Blessed, among other figures, while two angels complete the composition at the top, holding the wheel of the rosary.
So down at the bottom is the
Yeah,
building.
that's all.
Well, actually, there's one up there too.
It may, that's all I got when I was doing this. So if you want to research it, I can say that's all I got. So the next one was in the Sevilla Cathedral. Shirley and I went to, obviously. This is called The Descent by Pedro de Campana, 1547. But his name is really Peter de Kempenaer, born in Brussels, so he was Belgian. And this is considered one of the masterpieces of the Sevilla Cathedral. And again, you can tell I'm taking a picture of a picture. But yeah, that one spoke to me very much so.
I don't know that I've ever seen another depiction of Christ being taken off of the cross.
Me either.
It was really very moving.
And it's called the Descent?
The Descent.
When they removed
They
his body?
removed his body from the cross.
Like you, I've never heard
I've
any
never seen
information
that.
about
Me
that.
either.
Caravaggio did a Entombment of Christ, which is him coming off the Christ, which is in the Vatican.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I had a book at home I was flipping through as well that I bought when I was at the Vatican and was flipping through there, and I think I do remember seeing that one. Caravaggio did a lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff, a lot of art. I guess I should call it what it is. Okay, now this one really, I don't know. Did it show? Okay. So this is by Velázquez. I always mispronounce that, so my apologies. Christ on the Cross, 1632. This was in the Velázquez. See, I always mispronounce it. Thank you, Velázquez. Ugh, that was horrible of me. Okay, this is in the Prado. So again, thank you, Shirley. Would have never seen this. 1632. I'll read a little bit about it just because I thought it was interesting after I looked it up. I didn't know all this when I was looking at it. I just thought, wow, this was really moving to me. It's part of the Spanish Counter-Reformation, where sacred images were meant to inspire devotion and moral reflection rather than spectacle. And what that means is this is coming off the heels of the Renaissance, where things were a lot more like elaborate and kind of out there. This is definitely much more minimalist. And it says, by stripping away narrative elements, Velázquez emphasizes the human dignity of Christ, portraying him as just a man suffering rather than a theatrical martyr. The absence of crowd or landscape invites the viewer to meditate on the moment of sacrifice. So I think that last one sums it up for me now when I see a crucifix. The absence of a crowd or landscape invites the viewer to meditate on the moment of sacrifice.
He has a halo.
Yeah. This was beautiful.
This is lovely.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to go to the Prado, maybe Shirley will go back. We have a really good guide.
We have a good guide.
Carlos.
I'll tell you.
He was
We had a
amazing.
wonderful guide. And
Okay.
he was cute.
Oh, he was easy on the eyes, so we were okay with that. Okay. Hey, we're both single.
Peter.
Okay. Do I need to ask who this is?
St. Peter?
Yes. I was like, I know there's people who probably know this. So this is St. Peter. As we all know, St. Peter, when they went to crucify him, said, I cannot be crucified like Christ. I'm kind of like not worthy. And they crucified him upside down. So this is late Renaissance, early Baroque. This is by, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this, Eugenio Cajes. It was in 1660, it's probably Cajes because it was in 1616. It was in the Toledo Cathedral. And the Toledo Cathedral, the first stone was laid in 1266, to give you an idea how old this is. And the cathedral stands where a mosque used to stand, which I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a little bit. Not that particular cathedral, but I thought this one was pretty powerful as well. And I'm not sure if I had ever seen a painting of Peter on the cross. So there's another one. This is Michelangelo. It's Michelangelo, Crucifixion of St. Peter. It's a fresco. It's housed in the Cappella Paulina, in the Vatican Palace. Most people, I think you have to be like super special or something to get into that. It's not one that's open to the public. That's why most people, unless you've seen it, been there and somehow gotten in, you've probably only seen a picture of it. It is the last fresco done by Michelangelo. Some of the things that I did read about this was he was not happy with it. He didn't like it. It's very different, as you can see, and that's why you go from, maybe I should have done them reverse order. This is Renaissance, right? And then on the heels of the Renaissance, that was the Spanish Reformation, where they were trying to get away from, I guess, the ostentatiousness. I don't know, whatever word you want to use. But the other thing that was interesting is the look on Paul's face and who he's looking at. Some of which is he's looking at the viewer as well. So this one was fascinating. This is a picture from a book, my Vatican book, and I literally, oh no, I went to the internet and stole that one. That's right. Okay, so now.
But also, I mean, aside from the styles that, you know, we had in the Renaissance and then later on with the Spanish, it's also like the techniques that they use. Because, for instance, Velázquez was very, I don't know, I guess a fan of like chiaroscuro, which is like, you know, you will put in, yes, something very dark and then light on whatever you wanted to, you know, people to look at, which is what we see in the previous one of the crucifix, right? I mean, in the big one, when you can see the whole thing, you can clearly see how dark everything around is and how the light is, because I think that Joellen pointed out that there was like a halo in the previous one.
Oh, yeah.
But in a big one where you have the whole thing, because it's bigger than that, then you can see like everything around is kind of dark, and it's just, you know, him is the light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it draws you in, for sure. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about architecture. I have another little show and tell. Does anybody recognize this? This is the First Baptist, McLean Baptist Church.
Get out of here.
Okay.
No, look at it. It's like everybody knows that. What are you talking about?
This is over, it was a ballet.
Still stands behind
Yes.
the Shell Station
Thank you.
here in Central McLean.
We did a field trip in 2007 when we had our 100-year anniversary. Yeah. And does anybody know who drew this piece of art? Really? That person's in the room. Sure as heck isn't me. Mr. Bob Lasitra.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Did you know, yes, I still have this. He is very sweet. When I was chair of the deacons many years ago and I was rolling off, he gave this to me in our last deacon meeting that I was chair of.
Did he pen the
He did.
the
This
year?
is Bob.
Did he put the
You
year?
really? She's doubting.
2007.
Okay, that's right. It was the 90th
Yes,
anniversary.
90th. I said
And we went inside that building
Yep.
as part of the 90th anniversary celebration. So then I stood across the street from it and sketched it. And then it's actually just ballpoint pen on paper.
That's
That was
lovely.
the medium.
It is.
Ballpoint pen on paper.
And it's a lovely piece of art, and I thank you for it.
Learned something new about you.
I know, right?
I did not know.
Y'all are going to do well on the quiz at the end.
More experienced than mine, Allison.
You just need a little more time, a little more practice. Okay, so architecture. Again, the other thing I found, like a lot of people, when you go to other cities, countries, and you see some of these beautiful places of worship. These are going to be mostly churches, that you take pictures because they're just beautiful. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Didn't go. There we go. I do not recall the name of this church, but it's in El Paso. My youngest nephew is stationed at Fort Bliss. And so I think this was my first trip there, my mother and I went to visit. And it's, it's just different architecture. And I just thought it was pretty, so I took a picture. El Paso. Yeah, very simple, but still, just striking for me. This is in Kauai. And so in 2017, I went on one of my infamous solo vacations to Kauai for a week and a half. And I was coming down from the top of the island and driving down and saw this and pulled off the side of the road and got out and took a picture of it because I thought it was really pretty.
on the north side, isn't it?
It's towards the north side, yes. Do you remember this
Yeah,
church?
it's gorgeous.
Yeah. I wish I could have probably like done the Google thing and tried to look it up, but again, I finished at 10 o'clock last night. So, so anywho, okay, yeah, it's a cool church. So if you ever go to Kauai, talk to me or Ron, and we can. It's off the main road going up. It's not that big an island. Okay, let's see. What's the next one? Oh, this again did not get to go in this one, and I'm bummed that I did not. Which means I have to go back. So this is Notre Dame de Victoire. It's a Catholic church in Quebec City. It was built in 1688. And again, just thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty, took a picture of it. Now I regret that I didn't have an opportunity to go in. It was, the sun was coming down at the time. We'll stay in Canada. Now see, again, you can tell, like, I took this picture because it's like half sun, half shade, but this is Notre Dame Basilica in Montreal. It was finished in 1830. And what was interesting, I did go into this one. Let's see. Oh, I went the wrong way. My apologies. Okay, so this is a picture I took inside. The interior of the church is amongst the most dramatic in the world. I can attest to that based on just this picture, and is regarded as a masterpiece of Gothic revival architecture. Montreal. And so that's a picture that I took with an old cell phone, because this was in 2016. May of 2016 is when I went. Here's a picture I stole from the internet.
I like your picture.
You do? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, it's beautiful. I mean, again, this is what I love, going to other countries. I'm all about going to see the churches. They're works of art. Let's see. So this is the Celtic cross that we saw earlier, one of them. This is St. Canice Cathedral in Kilkenny. I went there in 2021, December 2021. This was built in 1285, medieval Gothic. It is now a Protestant church, the Church of Ireland. It was stolen, this is what I read from the internet, it was stolen from the Catholic Church. But you know, that's what they do, I don't know. And they kicked him out. So the Protestants kicked him out, and the Roman Catholics were obliged to worship elsewhere. Obliged. You're obliged to worship somewhere else. That was cool. I do remember this tower, I believe, was from like 900 AD. I don't recall. I'm sorry. But that I did go in. It was beautiful. I don't think I have a lot of pictures from inside, except for this one I am sharing. Just some of the stained glass. It's just, yeah, it's beautiful. I could just, how many of you have been to Venice?
Been where?
To Venice.
Where is this?
Venice?
Oh.
Venice. Italy? No, Venice. I remember I went a long time ago when I was living in Europe, many years ago. I went and met a friend there, and we were there for 4 days. And honestly, I would say half the time we just meandered around and walked into predominantly, I'm sure, Catholic churches. And it was like, they're like museums. Titian, Tintoretto's. I mean, they're just, you just walk in and you're like, I can't, that's not even behind glass. Like, you could almost go up and touch it. It's just beautiful. So, okay, so that is, just checking the time, Kilkenny. This is Jerpoint Abbey. That's just probably a little southwest of Kilkenny. Again, what was a place of study and worship from the 12th century. It says it's an example of medieval I know I'm going to mispronounce this, Cistercian abbey in Ireland. And it's a transition from Romanesque to Gothic architecture. I believe this is just happens to be one that I was driving around and I saw signs, because it's what I did when I was in Kilkenny a couple days. I just got in my car and kind of just drove around, and I was like, what am I going to see? And I would pull off the side of the road and see things. Because that's how I like to roll. And everything is 10 minutes away. That's right. Everything is 10 minutes away.
Of course, it takes you a half hour to get there.
But that's okay. Yeah, so when we were in, well, actually all of Spain, every time we had to go somewhere, and I'm like, oh, it's about 10 minutes. And like 20 minutes later, Shirley's like, that only happened a couple times. Okay, staying in Ireland. Does anybody recognize that church? It's in Dublin? Yeah, okay. She was just there. Jennifer was just there, so. This is Christ Church. This is Christ Church. And this was beautiful. I was fortunate enough before I left Dublin to get a ticket to go see, and this was during the holidays, this was during Advent, to hear the Christ Church Boys Choir that evening do a performance. And I just think about that. Like just meditate on that, how beautiful that was. Let's see. This is the inside of the church. Okay. Now, one of my other favorite churches, which is right near Notre Dame. Everybody goes to Notre Dame in Paris. You got to go to Notre Dame when you're in Paris, right? Saint-Chapelle. Saint-Chapelle is one of my favorite that I've seen. Not that I've seen that, all of them in the world, but one of my favorite churches ever. This I didn't have to look up. I know it because it is. It was built in 1109 under Louis IX, and the stained glass in this place is amazing.
Michele, do you remember how many years they spent building it?
Man, no.
A lot, right?
Okay,
I mean, sometimes
a lot.
they spend
A lot. Yeah, that's
hundreds
the
of
answer.
years to finish these cathedrals.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. This one I don't. This one for some reason I'm going to look it up. I don't think it took as long as some of the other ones that take like hundreds of years. And you think about the one in Barcelona, the
Sagrada Familia.
It's the yes, that one.
It
But
does finish.
apparently was finished this year.
It's not completely,
Yes.
they say, but it's
That's what they're saying.
completely.
Now, I know this is hard to see. That's some of the stained glass in Saint-Chapelle. So if you've been to Paris and you didn't go to Saint-Chapelle, you got to go back. Yeah. This blows, in my opinion, Notre Dame out of the water. And
Is this still a functioning church, or is it just a tourist attraction?
it's a functioning church. Now I'm going to turn this up.
Wait, what did you say?
It is still a functioning cathedral.
Human and I took between 6 and 7 years to complete, so it was remarkably fast.
That's what it, yes, thank you. I thought that one was actually pretty quick. And think about all that stained glass. So I was fortunate enough. Now, when I signed up to do this, the thing that immediately came to my mind about experiencing like faith in art and architecture was this moment that this was 2013 now, I went, again, solo trip, went and spent almost 2 weeks in France, landed in Paris at the end for like 3 days, and I don't like to plan a whole lot and get tickets to things when I travel alone. I kind of like to fly by the seat of my pants to some extent. But one of the things I did find, and I got a ticket to, and I didn't realize it was a VIP ticket, because I was down in like right in the very front. In Saint-Chapelle one night, there was, I didn't bring it with me, there was a quartet from the Czech Republic playing music, and one of the things that they played was all four seasons from Vivaldi, 4 seasons. And so I'm sitting there in this church, built in 1109, with all this beautiful stained glass, practically front row, because I didn't realize I'd bought a ticket to be down front, but thank goodness I did. And they were from here to like Cindy from me, playing. And this is when I was like, I am experiencing God right now. So close your eyes and if you can, like you're listening to this in a cathedral that looks like that. It's a memory I will go to my grave. And this was the first thing I thought of was, oh, I have to talk about that. Oh, and then it just kind of, it's burned from that. But for me, that was experiencing all of it. I mean, you got the music, you've got the art, you got the architecture, everything. It was fantastic. So if you ever go back to Paris and you want to go to Sainte-Chapelle, I would look to see if there's some music or something going on that night and see if you can have an opportunity. This was the ceiling. I stole this from the internet. It's amazing. Okay, what have I got here? Oh, this is the same church. So this, and do you remember the name? It's on there.
San Blas, I think.
Yes, San Blas. San Blas. We went there a couple times. We did some shopping right near San Blas. They had some good shopping going.
I wasn't really paying attention to the name.
That's
I
okay.
think I remembered us passing it.
Isn't it pretty?
Yes.
And again, if you go to Peru, this is what you see. It's just so vibrant and beautiful.
We get it on a lot of church doors.
We couldn't take also, I mean, because we went on another day, but to, you know, visit inside the churches, but most of them don't let you take pictures, so.
And one of the things I don't have a picture of this, and because of what Giovanna just said. On the Sunday I was there, it was the 28th of June, we went to, I have the name, I can't remember it. Anyway, we went to church. We went to church that morning. And I remember going, can I take pictures in here? And then we saw all the things like you can't take pictures, so that's okay. So, but it was obviously all in Spanish. It was Catholic Mass. It was all in Spanish. And I sat there next to Adrian and Giovanna. And occasionally Giovanna would lean over and tell me like, oh, he just read Matthew, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, she would give me little snippets here and there of what the priest was saying. But again, I'm sitting here still feeling it all, even though I don't understand what's going on. But again, couldn't take pictures, which I could, and just looking around and being in this place, and I'm just experiencing it all. It was fantastic.
In Catholic Church also, you know, there's a tradition of singing, just like we have here sometimes, one particular song every, you know, through the whole season. And so I think in that moment, because I remember when you were like, you know, sort of turning to me and look at me, was that, which was really beautiful, because this was the cathedral that you're talking about, that we were. And so it's a very big place, and it's Sunday, the first service, so it was full, completely packed of people, you know, and everyone, you know, knows this song. They don't even have to look at, you know, it's like, so everyone was just singing it, you know. So that was like I mean, even, you know, me, like already being, you know, knowing the language, and it was really beautiful because you can feel also, because, you know, I don't know if you remember, but you have people from everywhere, right? Like the person who just came down, who was probably leaving, you know, in the countryside and just came over because she was going to go to the market. So, and you can see people from everywhere just there together in that moment, you know, and then remember we sang, and then you have like, you know, you give the peace to each other, and everyone doing that. So it's a beautiful moment of, I guess, togetherness that you feel.
It's definitely community,
right?
even though I didn't know anybody in there, but your brother and you and Adrian. So I'm being conscious of time, but I do need to spend a few minutes on this. So this is in Cordoba, in Spain. And I gotta get my notes because I gotta make sure I'm like pronouncing some things correctly and getting my facts straight. Okay, so that's one view of this. Okay, this is called the Mezquita or Great Mosque of Cordoba, also known as the Roman Catholic Diocese of Cordoba or Cathedral of Our Lady of the Assumption. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is an aerial view, which we didn't get, so look at this. Oh, no, that's another view from the bridge, sorry, which was really cool. That's another view of it. Looks pretty big, right? There's the aerial view. I didn't see this until I was doing this research. We know it's big because we went inside. I had zero idea it was this big. So I'm just going to read because it's probably a little easier. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is what I found fascinating and what I did love about Spain. And I have not spent a ton of time in Spain. But this particular site was also had Roman influence, Visigoth. So there was a Christian church there that was bought by the Muslims. So the Muslims bought this church from the Visigoths. So they built this huge mosque in 756. And then, of course, the Christians came. And they, King Ferdinand III, I think it was the third, conquered and came in. Because it was so big, they built a cathedral in the mosque. Yeah, I was like, we got to go to Cordoba. I got to see this. Like Shirley and I were like, this. We got to take a pit stop and go to. We stayed and made a change in our plans to stay a night in Cordoba and go. One of the reasons was to go see this. The site of the Mezquita has been a place of worship for nearly 2 millennia. Originally, it housed a Roman temple dedicated to Janus, followed by the Visigoth Church of St. Vincent. In 784, Emil Abd al-Rahman I began constructing the Great Mosque of Cordoba, which was expanded over the next 2 centuries under successive rulers. And then in 1236, following the Christian reconquest, the mosque was converted into a cathedral, where a Renaissance nave inserted into the Islamic structure, resulting in a striking fusion of architectural styles. So that's an aerial view. This is when you first walk in. This was the prayer. This is like the prayer room, if you will, for the Muslims. I mean, this doesn't do it justice, but it's huge. You see these. Have you been? Isn't it just huge?
But you could see the changes in architecture, because initially there was just one arch, and they found that that wasn't really all that strong. And so when they did an addition, they did a double arch to strengthen it. And then you can see it going from the Gothic to the Renaissance, because the Gothic part is very dark, and then the Renaissance part has windows up in the ceiling and is very light. So you can see the progression of architecture over a period of time.
So now we start getting into the cathedral that was built inside.
And they closed down the entrance doors that the mosque used to have for people to go in to pray. It used to be all open. They closed those in and made them separate areas of worship for various saints. But, oh, that organ was incredible.
Yeah. Do you remember earlier when I talked about that crucifix, and I said I'll come back to it, when somebody said, is that in a, I can't remember what the question was, I think a Catholic church or a church. And I said, sort of, kinda. Yeah, so it is. This is currently a functioning Catholic church, but it's inside of a mosque, which was built on a Visigoth church, which was built on a Roman, temple. Thank you. I knew there was a word I was not getting to. But
so is the mosque also functioning? Or it's just...
It's not. I thought they still did prayers there. They don't.
No.
Okay. Believe her, because I don't recall that. It's a good question, though. So yeah, but you can see the architecture. That's Islamic
Yeah.
architecture with a crucifix. Wouldn't it be nice if we all lived in harmony?
And they did reuse a lot of the Roman columns.
I had a picture. I should have put it in there. Yeah, there was a Roman column. Well, shoot. Well, it's on my phone. I can show you later if anybody wants to see it. But yeah, that is just, to me, that's just breathtaking. And again, why can't we all just live in harmony?
I think that one has nails on.
Yes, and the feet are crossed. You got it. A couple more pictures because I know we're running short on time, but I'd be remiss. This is the cathedral in Sevilla. That's it at night. That was from the place that we stayed that Shirley was not keen on. But anyway, had a great rooftop, little rooftop bar. That's inside. Just again, sorry if I'm in your way. Just beautiful. More stained glass. Okay. Do you recognize this one, Adrian?
Oh yes, the one in the Cusco main square.
That's right. Iglesias de la Compañía de Jesús, Church of the Society of Jesus. This is Spanish Baroque, began in 1576. An earthquake happened in 1650, and then it was rebuilt in 1673. So this was in like the main center square, the Plaza de Armas. Did I say Plaza de Armas? Did not go inside this one. I couldn't have taken pictures even if I could. It was across from where the cathedral.
It had Pan de Oro inside, speaking of which.
It had what?
I think it had Pan de Oro inside, speaking of which.
So a lot of Catholic churches from, this 15s, 16s have like this thing, I guess, laminates of like gold, and they were work on it. So they call that in Spanish Pan de Oro. So yeah, I mean the ones in the main square, they all have that. So
now, this, which I thought, and the previous one, my apologies, this was built on an Inca temple.
part of it, yeah.
Part of it was built on an Inca temple. Now, that's one of the things I thought was fascinating. I could probably do a whole nother thing on just Peru and some of the Inca art and then what happened when they, the Spanish came in and built beautiful things, but they also destroyed beautiful things in the same fail swoop. But this was built on an Inca temple. And the reason I mention that is I love this picture. This was my last Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. I got it. It took me a while. I kept having to practice saying this one. So the stones, and you only get to see a little bit of it.
Big stones.
And you cannot put even like a razor blade in between these stones. The Spanish could not figure out how the Incas did it. Don't ask me. I have no idea. But I mean, there's theories. Well, yeah. If you watch Ancient Aliens.
No, don't watch that show.
I know. Yes. Yeah. It's my mother's one of her favorite shows. But anyway. Yes. So, so these are ancient. It's beautiful. Like, I know we're running out of time, so I'm not going to go into too much of it. But what I thought was also interesting is the Cristo de Blanco, I think is El Cristo de Blanco up here that you can see. That was, I looked up the year, I think it was 72 when it was put up. I have it on my phone, but anyway, it's obviously more recent than the Inca stones, but I just found it interesting, again, that they're both in the same picture, right?
Is this just one wall of what they?
No, it's a whole complex, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
That's just one view of some of the stones with the Christ on, and it's up on a hill, so you can look over Cusco. It's absolutely beautiful, and I just thought that was an interesting display of architecture and art with the Christ and the stones. So, and then
And the mountains.
I mean, it was breathtaking. It was absolutely breathtaking. And then I'm going to end on this because this is my favorite sculpture that I've ever seen. And for those of you who've ever been to the Vatican, you've seen it.
If you could, yeah.
Michelangelo's Pieta. I could sit and just stare at that for hours. It's just such an amazing piece of art. Yeah, so that's. I'm going to end on that because it's my favorite. Yes, ma'am.
I have two comments. One is that when we were in Spain, the interior of the churches and the cathedrals that we went in were loaded with gold, all taken from South America.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was just, it was
Look at
interesting to
Adrian's
see
face,
the
I know.
newer churches had, everything was painted gold, but there was no actual gold. But the amount of gold in some of those churches was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
The other comment I have on the crosses, it's interesting that you were showing a lot of the crucifixes and that sort of thing, but going back to the beginning, the Celtic crosses, there's no crucifix or anything. There's a circle, and that's the sun, and that's because the people there worshipped the sun god. And the way they were getting them to convert to Christianity, they incorporated that to make it more familiar and get their buy-in more on that. But you wouldn't see a crucifix in the Celtic area.
Yeah. Good insight.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. Yeah. Thanks for coming. Okay. Well, there you go.
For attending next week, it's Advocacy Sunday. And so we're going to have Stan is going to present along with Jennifer.
It's not even on the map. It's just
Thank you, Michelle.
get the whole thing.
Oh, you're welcome. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.